Welcome back to Pool Opening 2024, Part 8, Adding Shock to the Pool, the easy way. Alright, let's talk about what shock, why you need it, and what you're supposed to do, and then I'm going to show you the wrong way. The wrong way is a heck of a lot faster than the right way. There are some things that you must absolutely keep in mind, and if you follow that, you will have no trouble and save yourself a lot of time. Alright, so first off, what is shock? Shock is calcium hypochlorite. What's that? It's bleach, okay? It's chlorine. It comes in a granular form, little granules like that. Not a powder, but little granules. Almost like sugar, but bigger. That is going to super-chlorinate the pool. In other words, instead of pouring one jug of bleach in, you poured more than one, like 3 or 4 or 8 or 144, a gross, I think it is, something like that. You're going to put a lot more chlorine in. What's chlorine do? Well, it cleans and sanitizes the pool. It kills all the algae that's in there and stuff like that. Now, a lot of people at this point are very tempted to take a water sample down to the pool store and have them analyze it. So here's what's going to happen. They give you a free water test, and there's a great reason why they give you a free water test. It's because they're going to hit you on the back end. Okay? What's going to happen is you're going to go there and they're going to say, oh, well, you need more shock. You need more chlorine tabs. You need some soda ash or some pH plus or whatever they call it. They have all different names for this stuff. It does the same thing. There's basically sodium carbonate, sodium bicarbonate, otherwise known as baking soda. It's the same stuff, just sold in a big bucket. And you're going to need all that stuff. Now, how and when to add that, I don't get into that stuff because I have an interesting way of testing the water. I don't go to the pool store with the sample, and I'm not even going to test the water now because it's green and it's disgusting. And if I tell you that I'm going to taste the water, I ain't tasting the green water, sorry. That's going to be much later on. Maybe I'll touch upon that. Now, to administer shock to the pool, the first thing that you're going to learn, you can look this up on the internet, you can talk to the guys at the pool store, anything like that, never put it in the skimmer. We're putting it in the skimmer. What you're supposed to do is get a bucket. This one's been around forever, so long that the writing is worn off. And you're supposed to dump the shock into the bucket and fill the bucket with water and have it dissolve. And then you take said bucket, which now has 5 gallons or more of water. What is it? 6 or 8 pounds a gallon? So you're looking at 40 pounds that you're going to take around the pool and spill this all the way around the pool, only to end up finding out that when you get to there's leaves and bad stuff in here because I'm not using it. Only to find out that most of the shock didn't even dissolve, and you just dumped all those granules directly into the pool. Now, is that a problem? Yeah, it can be. Depends on the kind of pool you have. This is a vinyl lined pool. That's a big no-no. If that happens and you do that, you get your pool brush and you start brushing that to help make it dissolve and not sit on the liner because it can bleach it out, because it is basically solid bleach. It's Clorox solid. By the way, Clorox now makes pool chemicals. You'd say, oh, well, it's a natural fit. I know Clorox bleach forever. Yeah, you know what it is? I don't know why they didn't think of this sooner. Marketing and money. I saw it at Walmart. Way expensive. And what are you getting? The Clorox name? What are the chlorine tablets say Clorox on them? Come on. What are you buying? Bleach is bleach. Chlorine is chlorine. If the percentage of it, and you can read the labels and all that to find out, is not the same, and that's stronger stuff, then yeah, you're getting more bang for your buck. I get that. So that's what you're supposed to do as far as administering shock to the pool. So now I'm going to show you the wrong way, but the wrong way is going to be a lot faster, because by the time you get a bucket, you put the stuff in there, because now you're going to have the little packet of shock. You got to cut that open, and then you're going to go try to rip it, and then you don't want to use your teeth on it, and then you're going to give up and have to get a razor blade or a scissor, and you're already losing daylight. And then you got to get the hose and fill that up, and then you got to mix it up. How are you going to mix it? What are you going to use? Your hand? You shouldn't really, you don't really want to, you're going to touch it. It's okay. It's not going to kill you. It's going to be all right. You'll be fine. Anyway, you're going to waste a lot of time with that. And then walking that heavy thing around the pool. All right, here's the deal. Do not do this unless you follow my instructions explicitly. If you miss a step, you are going to screw up. And what the pool guys and the pros on the internet tell you is you're going to burn out your pump, or burn out the lines, or burn out something. If you mess this up, you stand a good chance of doing that. Let's take a look at the equipment first, and then I'll show you how it's administered. So that's a big mess of stuff right there. You should know what most of this stuff is. It's kind of obvious. The thing that makes the noise that water goes through is the pump, and that's some sort of torpedo, and there's some valves. I don't know what any of them do. And then there's that big thing that could filter something. It's kind of big enough for like a pool, you know. Yeah, it's kind of self-evident what the stuff is. All right. If you go and do this method by pouring the shock in the skimmer, you're definitely going to damage your filter. Inside the filter are grids. The grid is a spiny looking thing that has a mesh covering over it, and it's all interconnected. You don't want to get into that mess, believe me. So do this the right way. The right way is to put the pool into recirculate mode. Now, how you do that on your pool, I don't know. The bottom line is, I can only show you what I have. You must eliminate the filter from the water circuit. I repeat, you must eliminate the filter from the water circuit. On this pool, I have this multi-port valve, and it's all marked as far as what it says. See, it says recirculate, backwash, filtration, all kinds of stuff there. Recirculate is what you want. You might have a thing you pull instead. You might have a valve like that red one there that you shut. I don't know what you got, but you have to eliminate the filter and have the water go from the pool to the pump right back to the pool. That is exceptionally important, because if you screw that up, you're definitely going to be in for hundreds of bucks for new filter grids if you have a DE filter like this is. Being that I have not opened the filter just yet, the pool is on recirculate already. So we are officially ready to go. Now, another thing you might have is a heater or solar heat. That thing is for solar heating. It's not on right now. I know, because the handle points that way, and that's when it's not working. When it points that way, it's on. If you're not sure, you can put it one way or the other. It's motorized, so you got to fiddle with the controls in here. And feel the water on a sunny day. If it's warm coming out the jets in the pool, it's on. If it's not, it's off. You need it off, because you don't want this stuff going through there either. So that's off. Filter's out of circuit. Now let's go over to the skimmer. So being that I just opened the skimmers recently, it actually is skimming some stuff. There's a whole bunch of grass from what I mowed the other day. So let's just kind of dump that out. It's not imperative, it doesn't matter really, but You're going to have to clean it sooner or later. Put the basket back in. That helps to kind of disperse the ferment's crystals. We have the shock in this scoop here. How big is that scoop? How much does it hold? I don't know. I found out that it holds a packet of shock and then some. How much is that? It looks like it almost holds 1.5 packets worth. Now, how much do you add to your pool? Well, that depends. First of all, get the sticks out of it. You're going to want to read the label and see what it says. For the shock I buy, it says 1 packet per 10,000 gallons of water. If you don't know, you can look up pool volume calculator. You got Google. You have the same internet access I do. Just search. You'll find it. And it's going to ask you the length and the width, if it's rectangular, oval, circular, and the depth of it. You punch all that in, and it'll give you the approximate number of gallons. We're not looking for exact science here. We're just looking for close. This is about 30,000 gallons, last I remembered. I could be wrong. It's okay. This is what I always do, and it's been working. If this is 30,000 gallons, and you're supposed to put 1 packet per 10,000, I'd need 3 packets, or in other words, I'd probably be able to fill this, since it holds approximately 1.5 packets, I'd be able to fill that scoop twice. Is that a good idea to do now because the pool's green? Probably. Am I going to? That's not cheap. No. It'll be okay. You're going to get by just fine. You can dump loads of chlorine in and screw things up royally. For my weekly pool maintenance, that's about the amount I put in. Sometimes a bit less, depending how much is in the bucket that I dump all the shock into and how much I can scoop out of it. So I've been administering much less than the recommended amount for 17 years now, and it's been working great for me. Chances are very good you can get by with using less and still have a nice clean pool. My recommendation would be start with the recommended amount, get your pool all cleaned up and ready to go, and once you do that and everything's good, give it a couple weeks, follow what it says, and then back it off just a bit. If it says 3 packets for your pool, try 2. See how it is. Give it a couple weeks. This isn't overnight stuff, all right? All right, so now we've been talking long enough. So what we're going to do is administer the shock right into the skimmer, exactly what they tell you never to do. We're going to do it. They're also going to tell you that if you have an automatic chlorinator, that's that torpedo-looking thing there, that you're going to cause an explosion. I've blown up a lot of stuff in this backyard in the time I've been here. That is not one of the things I've blown up. It's very unlikely. Very unlikely. There's a lot of myths out there, so don't listen to them. A lot of what you hear, what you read, and what you see is false. I only give you the truth. I'm telling you from my 17 years of experience. Never had a problem doing it this way. All right, so you're going to take the shock. Do not just dump it in. If you do that, you're going to cause a problem. Here's why this works. Remember how I said before the bucket, and you put the water in there and the shock and it's supposed to dissolve and it never does? Instead of a bucket, think of one of them big like oil drums, like a 55-gallon drum kind of thing. What if you put that same amount of shock into 55 gallons of water? You think it'll dissolve in there? Yeah, because you got a lot more water. You got a whole pool here, and you can't just dump it in the pool because then it's going to go down and sit on the bottom, and that's bad. But what we have here is essentially a bottomless bucket. There is water flowing through here at very high velocity. So when we put the shock in, what's going to happen is it's going to start to dissolve right away. Will it all dissolve? No. But in the time it's going to take for it to get from here all the way back to the pump, it will have mostly, if not completely, dissolved in the water in that pipe in its travel because of the turbulence of the water and everything else in there. It's physics or something. You have to do this very slowly. If you go fast, you're going to break something and blow it up, and you did it. No, I didn't do that. You did. So you got to go slow. Here's how slow. Yeah, it's got a handle on it. It's getting weak. I don't want to break this thing because I don't know how much it actually holds, or maybe it says. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's for plants. I don't know what this thing is. It was here when I moved in, but it works. We're going to sprinkle, almost like salt. See how slow I'm going? Just like that. Just that little trickle. Or if you're into the Food Network stuff, a little sprinkling of salt from the heavens kind of thing. Just like that. You can go closer to it so the dust and other particulates don't get out. You don't want to lick this stuff. You don't want to taste this stuff. Try not to touch it if you can. You will. In fact, we're gonna in a minute. But it's okay. That's maybe a little much. Give it a couple of seconds. We'll carry on. Just like that, just little amounts at a time. And by doing this, like I said, all of this is dissolving. It's not all dissolving in the skimmer, but once it gets into the line back to the pump, it is. And I'll show you as soon as we're done here. What I like to do. Let that sit for a second. Okay. This basket in here, we're going to pull it out. The center of it on this has a weight. Yours may or may not. And there's all kinds of shock on that. So we're just going to kind of do the golf ball wash kind of thing. Just do one of these. Just a tiny bit more. That's good right there. There's going to be shock at the bottom of the skimmer. I like to go in there with my whole arm and stir it up. You don't have to do this. It'll probably dissipate itself, but I find it very good practice to do it when you're doing it this way. Just go around the top lip of it first. And now down into the icy depths. Not bad. There's really not much to speak of. And I like to do kind of like a whirlpool kind of thing. Just keep going around like that. That seems to get it mixed up pretty good. Get just a little bit more. One more time around, we're good. That's perfect. You just shock your pool in about a minute. This was a lot of talking because there's a lot of warnings and stuff like that, but that's how you do it. Now, you have to leave the pump on or the pool equipment on recirculate for time. How much time? I don't know. You don't want to switch it back right now. It's too soon. 5 minutes? Probably good. You know what I'm going to do? I got plants I got to water. I'm going to do that and leave it in recirculate. That'll be enough time. When I'm done, then I can switch it back to filtration. In fact, I'm going to do that in the very next video because I haven't started the filter up just yet. But that's it. So once again, just to reiterate, get the filter, get any heaters or any other auxiliary equipment out of the water circuit, and have water from the pool go to the pump and right back to the pool, recirculating. Add shock to the skimmer very, very slowly. Takes about a minute, minute and a half, depending how slow you go. Switch the water around if you want, otherwise it'll take care of itself. Give it a couple of minutes, put it back on filter or wherever you have it, and you're good to go. I just saved you a lot of time and gave you some tips on what you can do to try to save some money on shock. You may not need as much as they say. All right, that's going to wrap this one up. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope this video helped you out. Make sure you click like. Make sure you click subscribe. I appreciate you watching. And take care. We'll see you next time when we open up the filter for the first time this year.